Hi everybody, today I want to talk to my 10 subscribers about the incident in Atlanta. So if you didn't know, on June 13th, during a sort of traffic stop, two officers from the Atlanta police interviewed a man called Mr. Rayshard Brooks, and after blowing a .108, the legal blood alcohol level in Georgia is 0.08. The officers attempt to make an arrest. It's at this point, after one cuff is attempted, put onto his left arm, Mr. Brooke starts to resist, and then one officer threatens to stun the suspect.
You're gonna get tased! You're gonna get tased! Stop! Mr. Wall! Stop! Come on, man.
If he kept resisting. Now at this point, where there was a weak grip, or the position he was in, one of the officers loses possession of their stun gun, and Mr. Brooks starts to run away. Now at this point, it is still up to deliberation, but it appears that Mr. Brooks does indeed fire his taser. Well, not his taser, the taser he has stolen, after he pointed it at Officer Garrett Rolfe, who had been with the department since 2013. After doing this, the Officer Garrett Rolfe drops his own taser and deploys his firearm. And shoots Mr. Brooks 3 times, 2 of which at least hit him in the back, and the third has not been disclosed to the public yet. Now, I just want to make this statement before I continue. I'm against police brutality. I mean, you can't put people in positions of authority and then have them abuse that power, or not abuse, but take that power out of its level that they have. You can't go and kill someone once you've restrained them, but you can arrest someone after they've assaulted you. Now, preferably when someone does assault you, you want to go and arrest them. You don't want to kill them. I can tell you that majority of the police officers throughout the United States and the world do not want to kill suspects. They want to bring them to justice, or at least have them arrested and booked. Now, do you think this is a justified use of lethal force? So, outside of the no one has the right to take somebody else's life argument, do you think that this was a correct usage of lethal force? Leave it in the comments. Now, personally, I believe it was. It really does come down to the simple idea of don't want to get shot, don't try to tase a cop. Now, he stole the officer's taser. That's the officer's fault, first and foremost. He should have had that secured. But if you go and point a weapon like a taser at an officer, their first immediate action is going to be to draw out something that's a step higher than that. They don't want to be on a level playing field. They want to be as high over the suspect as possible. So, in an event when someone pulls a taser, they're going to pull their gun. Because if that suspect successfully uses the taser and incapacitates the police officer, then that suspect now has access to that officer's firearm. And the last thing you want is someone who's several times over the legal limit in possession of a police-registered firearm. Now, the next thing that just made me angry was 2 things. Number one is so-called peaceful protesters burning down the Wendy's. Now, this isn't a case of, oh, it's Walmart, they have insurance, they're a big corporation. One that doesn't work, and it's still similar to Wendy's position, is that Wendy's are like all other places like McDonald's, Hungry Jack's. They're franchisee owned. the main McDonald's corporation has nothing to do with it other than the menu and the copyright. Everything else is paid majority by the owner. They pay for the food, they pay for the services, they pay for the cleaning, they pay for everything. So by burning down this Wendy's, you're not burning down some minor part of a massive conglomerate in the United States. You're burning down essentially, you're burning down a family-run business or a family-owned business. There is no higher-up representative of the company that is higher than the owner. The owner owns it. And it could be anyone. I mean, it could even be a black person. It could be. Apparently, since we all want to reduce everything to race, it could be. So you go and commit arson on someone's business, and it's over somebody else's death in the car park surrounding this. What does Wendy's have anything to do with that? What did Wendy's do? They caught it on their CCTV? Seriously? Wendy's shouldn't be able to have CCTV? Not gonna lie, that's kind of cringe, bro. And the second thing was the news media just blatantly lying about it. Now, I think by now you should be able to tell by my accent I'm not American, so I don't have access to 24-hour Fox and CNN. But over here in Australia, the central news organisation we have here, ABC News, the government funded, and this is why I just don't like the news here so much. They just blatantly lie about this, and I'll get that picture on here, and you can see the news line. Protests flare up in the US after Atlanta police shoot dead unarmed black man. Unarmed. One final thing I want to note about this incident is at the time of the ABC flashline coming up, this story and the camera footage had already been out for several hours in the United States. So that means two things. One, ABC didn't do their fact-checking and bought into the liberal media bias. Or two, they let that line run up for several hours without checking for updates. And by several hours, I mean more than 12. Very unacceptable for a government-funded news organization. So anyway, that's about it. Bye.